Hey, Razor K plus some scrubs. This is your commish signing in to give you a weekly recap on everything. And I don't think I can start this recap without just taking a moment of silence for Chad Morris being the Arkansas head coach. Okay, glad that's over. No more hammering down. My gosh, that's so bad. I had high hopes, and it just didn't work out. Much like all of my football stuff, period. The Hogs suck. The Colts managed to lose to the freaking Dolphins. What kind of bullcrap is that? Given it's basically their third-string quarterback and their top three receivers were out. But still, it's the Dolphins. That's just embarrassing. Vinatieri might be on the end of his career, but apparently they're going to stick with him. So they're probably going to live and die by Vinatieri's leg. And they used to be a good thing. And now I'm a little worried. And that does not end my fantasy football woes, because let's get into this week's matchups, and let's talk about the high scorer of this week. High scorer is last place in the league, named Justin Wilford, who happened to play me, and I had the second most points scored in this past week, and I still lost by 5 points. Freaking Aaron Jones, man, 3 touchdowns. Christian Kirk, 3 touchdowns. I mean, they pretty much care. DJ Moore had an okay day. Ronald Jones, he's really kind of coming into his own. I wish I would have stuck with him in another league that I had him in. But, I mean, the past few weeks he's been getting touches. The past 2 weeks he's been getting touches, 15 and then 18 points there for him. But man, yeah, 3 touchdowns from 2 different position players, that usually wins you a week, along with a 23-point defensive performance. Just barely outdoing my defense with 22 points there. Lamar continues to carry his weight on this team, man. He has been absolutely phenomenal. And I'm just no, dang it, he's number 2. I guess Wilson's still ahead of him. But good to see Drew Brees back throwing to Michael Thomas, so I'm excited for that. And Justin, well done on the highest score of the week, even though I'm pretty sure you aren't looking at these, or listening to these anyways. And then we'll get into the lowest score of the week, and that happens to be Daniel Behrman, defeated by the Christopher Martindale. And Dalvin Cook continues to just be an absolute beast this season. So he's kind of leading the charge for Martindale, who had a decent week at 120, not an outstanding, but a decent week, and enough to beat someone who, Giants defense, 3 points, your quarterback gets you 10. Good to see Melvin Gordon kind of back into his ways, although as the Austin Eckler owner, I would appreciate some more carries going to Eckler. But he somehow, almost every game, catches a passing touchdown. Not sustainable, but good enough for me. Breida continues to play banged up, and man, I am sorry about David Johnson having negative 0.5 points. I love the talents. I am concerned about the injuries. But that's crazy. Chris, you're predicted for 153 points. So I'm going to say you underperformed this week. Saquon got a little banged up there, so that contributed. But still pulled out the W and moving firmly into the lead of second place in our division with my loss as well. And then on to the next matchup. We see these bag marbles. Tyler Abbott barely man, you are, I swear you're the luckiest person sometimes in fantasy. Barely squeaking by with a victory there. And with this, I didn't do all the crazy math. Chris might have clinched, but you have definitely clinched at least making the playoffs. You haven't clinched the division yet, but you're definitely in the playoffs. And taking a look at who had McCaffrey continues to be absolutely phenomenal this season. Good to see Devontae Adams get back on the board a little bit there, 15 points himself. Wilson had a quiet night by his standards, but is playing at San Francisco, who has a really good defense this year, kind of average-ish from everybody else. And didn't have the benefit of the Patriots' defense this time. Figured the Bills would have got more than 3 points at Cleveland. And Cleveland will score 19 points. That seems kind of low for them. But Andrew, I'm sorry that you lost there. Josh Allen had a good day, 25 points. I think he had a rushing touchdown. That helps. Mark Andrews continues to do really well. Good for him. Kind of a breakout year for him. Catching some passes from Lamar Jackson 2.0, as we see this season. If you played a better defense, you could have won this one. Panthers defense, only 1.6 points from Robbie Anderson. You played Zach Pascal. You had your chance, man. Just couldn't pick the right streamers there in that situation. Next up on matchups here, Nate, congratulations on the W, my friend. And at 146 to 100, that's a pretty solid margin of victory there. Rough week for you, Travis. Garoppolo with a quiet night against Seattle. Pretty much a quiet day from Cooper Kupp with the goose egg. That's really what did you in. Although Tyreek tried to make up for it with a big day himself. But just pretty quiet all around there. Let's see. Deshaun Watson had the bye, so that's what you had to stream a QB. Fournette on the bye, so he'll be back in your lineup. And James Conner's out. I'm kind of curious to see what happens with him rest of the season, if he gets healthy and what he kind of looks like. Naycock, that Prescott to Cooper connection is money for you, man. That's 50 points just from the two of them together, so that's good. And Chris Carson, you made out better this week. Carson had the 17 points, and Saquon had like 6 or 7 points himself, so made out on that trade for this week anyways. We'll see long term. I have a feeling Saquon will bounce back. But Carson's still really good. Had a really good season as well. And Samuels with the quieter game this week. Given the Rams' defense is pretty solid. Jets with the 18 points there. That is more than I expected from the defense after trading people away. But it looks like whoever plays the Giants is going to have a good week, regardless of how much talent is left on the defense. On to the final matchup here with Corey and Trevin. Hey, Daisy. Daisy, okay, she's crazy. Corey with the pretty big win himself, 30-point victory there over Trevin. Taking a look at Corey, Darius Slayton, good for him, 29-point week. Really outside of, I guess Joe Mixon, he had a decent week at 16. Corey made a move for him. Outside of that, it was Niners had 19. So I guess, yeah, if you have 3 players like that, it kind of adds up. Everybody else was kind of quiet. And Trevin, interesting choice, benching the Bears defense for the Cowboys defense. 7-point swing there if you go the other way. Mahomes looking good. Derrick Henry with a monster day as well. Outside of that, though, it's been pretty quiet. Beckham had an okay day. 8.2 points isn't what you want out of Beckham, though. You expect more out of him. I'm just kind of looking at his stats here. He has not, oh no, that's carries. He's had 1 touchdown all season. That's the only day he's been over 14 points. He had a 13-point day. Outside of that, he's been kind of quiet. Maybe next year. That's my predictions. Next year, Beckham really picks it up. So those were the matchups for last week. Taking a look at the standings. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Tevitt has secured a playoff spot. He's about to clinch the division. We'll kind of see how there's 3 weeks left, so we'll see how this week's matchups go. Chris is he may have secured a playoff spot. I'm not going to do the math in the matchups. You're really close to clinching a playoff spot. And then we have a whole bunch of people in the middle. This is really intriguing to me. So Justin is currently in last place, but he's at 3-7, whereas everybody else is within 2 games of that, though, besides Chris and Tevitt. This is really kind of a middle of the road for everybody else. It's been pretty frustrating for me for fantasy the past few weeks. I did well this week and just came up a little bit short, but I'm sitting at 4th in points because of points scored. And Travis currently has the lead in his division, although big matchup this week. If I pull up, let's see. I'm playing Andrew. So Andrew, actually, how are you doing? And sitting at 9th there, you need a little bit more life there. But that could be interesting. I could see a close race between Corey and Travis to kind of end the season there. And no, Naycock, you got some talented players on your team. We'll kind of see. If the Cowboys offense is clicking, that's some points for you. So I don't know. we'll kind of see here. Trevin, you've had a lot of points scored against you, as well as Justin and Travis. You've actually had the most points scored against you, and you're still leading your division. So well done, sir. Yeah, so I'll do some quick predictions for this week. Myself against Tevitt. Tevitt, I'm going to smoke you so bad. It's going to be so embarrassing when you have to admit that my team's actually better than yours. I hate projections because I'm projected to win, and projections just make me mad in fantasy football. But I'm going to predict a victory over you because your reign of terror is over, man. I hate to break it to you. It's just over. Next up, we got Travis and Andrew. Should have pulled up these matchups here. I'm just going to look at the projected leaders. And just based off of the Watson and Hill Fournette, I'm going to have to go with Travis on this one and kind of extend your lead in the division there. Chris, I'm going to take you over Justin. Justin, I love you, buddy. Thanks for another trade. But just going to go, oh my gosh. Right now, I think you need to start some other people that are on bye because you're projected for 64 points. Not good. And then the last two matchups are kind of interesting. I don't know who all you have. Let's pull up and see who's all on bye for you. We'll look at Corey and Daniel in their matchup, and nothing is wanting to load fast. So we're going to go with Corey's currently projected. I'm going to go with the upset for the moment. I'm going to predict a big week from Daniel based purely off of Jacobs going off because I like Jacobs. I wish he would have traded him to me. And then we got the battle of old roommates between Naycock and Trevin. And this one, it's pretty even on paper here. I'm going to go with Mahomes carrying the weight for Trevin and give him the W on this one. So in-depth analysis here from your commissioner. But the trade deadline is passed. So I'll update the spreadsheet and let you know kind of where we stand finalized with draft picks and everything like that. And Chris, you did not make that easy on me. But I think we'll get it sorted out. Outside of that, if anybody wants to come to the Baton Rouge, Arkansas game, let me know. I'm buying tickets on Sunday. I don't think anybody's going to come down to see me. But I'll be in Northwest Arkansas this weekend, so maybe I can see some of y'all there. Yeah, just let me know. Love you guys. And this is your commish signing out.